Welcome back everybody, Flintlocker again. Today we're going to talk about squirrel hunting, and in particular squirrel call. On a recent episode of Hunt Chat, we got on the subject of squirrel hunting, and I mentioned that I had some unorthodox ways of calling squirrels, and I thought I'd share them with you here today. The first call we're going to talk about is something that many of you might already be aware of. It's just a little bellows style call, and it blows the air across a little reed and makes the sound of a barking squirrel. These have been around for a long time. This happens to be a fox out of my call collection. I don't hunt with this one anymore. But they all operate pretty much the same, whether they have a wooden barrel or whether they don't. So to operate it, you just hold the reed down in your hand to create a little sound chamber and tap the bellows to create the barking sound of the squirrel. If you're interested in one of these, you can get online. You might be able to find the Fox and Olds, but custom call makers like Ozark Custom Calls also makes them. Just do a search for squirrel calls, and this is probably the style that's going to come up. The first of the oddball squirrel calls I want to talk about is one that I learned from my grandfather, and it's simply a pair of old walnut shells from last year's production. By taking the walnut shells and again creating a sound chamber with your hand and striking it with the ridges on another, you can make the sound of the barking squirrel. You can also with this call make a sound just like one cutting nuts, eating up in the tree, and arouse the curiosity of the squirrel that way as well. Now this particular call we're going to talk about is also from my grandfather, and it's not one that I use very often at all. In fact, I never do anymore because it involves silver dollars. Crazy as it sounds, my grandfather showed me, and it really works, that you can do squirrel calls with silver dollars. Now I'm going to again use my hands like a sound chamber, and by running the ridges on the edge of the coin across the raised portions of the design, you get a little barking sound. Now this one takes a little more imagination. I don't think it sounds that much like a squirrel, but believe it or not, the squirrels respond to it. So again, just strike them together. Now, if you happen to have some silver dollars laying around that you're not holding on to for investment purposes and you want to try it out, go to the woods, give it a shot. I think you'll find that it works. So there you go, my crazy ways to call squirrels. Like I said, I don't use squirrel calls very often. It's mostly spot and stalk. But if I decide I have to, there's some things laying around that I can grab and go. So I know deer season's coming up. I know the waterfowl season's on its way, but it's not too late to get out in the woods, try for some bushy tails, and get in a little practice before the real deal hits. Till next time, follow me on Facebook at Flintlocker's Outdoor Journal, on Twitter at Flintlocker, and join us every Sunday night for hashtag Hunt Chat. We'll see you next time. Actually, let's do this. Just heard a squirrel.